Welcome back, guys. In this video we are going to take a look at many ATV trailers that I took a look at before I finally decided on one. All the different brands I looked at, there's about 10 of them at least. What I liked, what I didn't like, the prices, things like that. That's a lot to cover and we're going to get after it right now.
Okay, let's just jump right into it. I looked at 12 actually overall ATV trailers, and I created an Excel spreadsheet so I could compare and contrast all the different features. I'm going to share that with you too, guys. So as I go through each one, don't think like you got to write anything down, because I'm going to give it all to you in an Excel spreadsheet. So the first one I looked at was the Ultratec tandem axle earth moving trailer. It was a little bit on the pricier side, $2,800. The shipping was like $400 to $700, so that really put it well over $3,000. Its load capacity was really good, 3,300 pounds. I like that it's a manual dump. I wasn't crazy about electrical. But you know, if you put any substantial weight in it, you're not going to be able to dump it. You're just not. So I was like, I don't think I like that too much. There's no crank on it. Dimensions of the box were good. It's light because it's aluminum, which I didn't like that it was aluminum, because I was just like, I'm throwing logs in this thing, I'm going to dent it for sure. So the cubic feet was 24.75. The angle of dumping was really good. I did like this trailer, but you know, I just decided that I didn't like aluminum, and I didn't like that I'm just not going to be able to dump it most of the time. So moving on to the Bosski 1600. This one was $2,500. Load capacity was about half the Ultratec, about 1,600 pounds. I didn't like that it was electric. So, and I didn't know what the dumping weight. I'm like, it can hold 1,600 pounds. The dumping weight might have been 1,000. So I'm like, ugh. So I'm definitely shoveling that thing out. Cubic feet was only 22 cubic feet, which isn't really that much less. Can't put sidewalls on it either. So I ruled this one out. I went with the Multilander. I like this one. The price was decent, competitive with all the others, $2,500. Load capacity was 2,000. It's a manual dump. You crank it, and the dumping capacity was actually even more, 2,500. So I was like, yeah. The interior dimensions were good. It was heavy though, so I was like, wow, 685 pounds. I didn't like that it was only available in green, and the angle of dumping was only 50 degrees. And sidewalls is not an option with this trailer, so I didn't like that. But you can fabricate them yourself and put them on, so that was a plus. This one right here was the K&L UT 1000. And I didn't like this. It's discontinued anyway. A load capacity was only 1,000. Dumping weight was only 1,000. I didn't like the way it was. I just thought the way it was manufactured and held together. I was just like, no way this thing's going to handle the kind of punishment I'm going to put it through. I looked at this Extreme road and trailer as well. The load capacity was phenomenal, 3,790. It's more than the Ultratec. I didn't like it was electric dump. Didn't like that. Interior dump dimensions were really good. Dry weight was heavy. It was 1,200 pounds. I was like, whoa. And there's no independent axle like the Ultratec and the Woodland and the Bosski. I was like, nah. Actually, the Bosski didn't have the independent axle, so I was like, nope, not going to get that one. I looked at the Mutts. I really like this one. $2,330 was the list price. A little bit less expensive. Load capacity was 2,000 pounds, which is awesome. Manual crank and dump, which I liked. Interior dimensions were real good, but let's see here, what was it about this thing that comes in green, but you know, I like the color, dark color green that it is, kind of like the Woodland Multilander, but I'm just not a fan. It had really good cubic feet, 26.25. The dumping angle is really good on this, 40, and so I thought this was it was on my short list. Then I looked at the RR608 from Range Road. Load capacity was only 1,584, so I dinged it for that. I dinged it for being electric, and a dump capacity was only 1,000 pounds. I'm like, it's dry weight, it's heavy, 650 pounds. It comes in gray, which it wasn't bad. It's not as bad as green. And guys, green, I mean, I can live with green, but anyway, can't build up the sides, and yeah, there's too many others that were less money, and just for my application, which is really what it comes down to, your personal preference, you might be like, I need electric, so Really comes down to your personal preference. This ABI Workman was interested, $2,800, 1,600 pounds, low capacity. It was electric, so I didn't like that. Dumping capacity was only 1,000 pounds. That's all, you know, if you put it in over that, you're going to be shoveling it out. Dry weight was 550 pounds. It's in black, which was acceptable. Cubic feet was kind of small, 22.8. Yeah, so I decided that I didn't like that. So then I looked at the DR Versa trailer, $2,300. Low capacity was 2,300. Manual, perfect. Dumping weight was only 650 pounds. I'm like, nope. Dry weight 703. Thing's heavy. And so I was just like, I don't know about that. Cubic feet was really good, 31.25. Dumping angle was 35, which is great. So you can get that stuff out of there. But what I didn't like is how the crane, look at the crane though, the cable or the rope, whatever, comes to the interior of the tub of the bed, right? I was like, no way. That's definitely going to get, shredded. So I nixed that. This one I saw on Facebook. This was the B&D trailer. 2650, 1,200 pound capacity, not very good. Electric dump, nope, don't like that. And comes in black. It was real thick steel, but I'm like, nope, I do not like this trailer. Then I found this one, the Iron Baltic. It was 4,250. I was like, wow, that's expensive. Low capacity was really good, 2645. Manual dump. I'm like, yeah, this is a beast. The interior dimensions were really good. The dry weight was 661 pounds, which puts it right up there with the Multilander and the DR. It comes in silver and yellow. I was like, oh, yellow. I mean, nothing wrong with yellow if you're a yellow fan. It's just, personal preference. Again, that's what this is all about. And I was overthinking this. So that's why I did all this research. So does it all, but I was like, after shipping, well, shipping's included, it says. So I was just like, yeah, it's just too much. I think I can find something else. So the last one I looked at was this Extreme XT 200, $3,400. I was like, kind of pricey, man. Low capacity is 2,000. Like electric, I'm like, nope. Dumping weight was 2,000. So I'm like, that's really good. Interior dimensions were good. Dry weight was 500 pounds. I'm like, it comes in black, gray, and tan. How awesome is that? So in the end, guys, I decided on the Woodland Multilander. Let me show you my Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, so, you can see I put them all in here, and I just compared them all based on personal preference, the way I wanted to use the trailer. I didn't want electric. Some of you might like, wow, you're going to have a completely different Excel spreadsheet. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is I don't want you to feel like you have to do all the work. So, this was really helpful for me to put it all together. I got the Woodland Multilander right there, the third one down. So let me talk about that.
Wow, really nicely packed. Guys, this is, because the box was a little bit beat up. But that's expected. But the way this thing is framed, see that? I'm sure the trailer's fine. But the money they spent to make sure that it was shipped well, I think was really nice. I shouldn't have any problems when I get everything out and start looking at the parts. Okay, I got all the parts laid out, got the manual here. Hopefully shows me how to put this thing together because there's a lot of parts. Let's get to it and time it to see how long it takes us. There it is, guys. Hooked up to the Polaris EV. And I'm about to take it out for the maiden load. I put a little bit of a 1/4 inch in the bottom of it there. I don't know why I did that, but I just figured try to keep it nice in case I'm throwing logs in there a little bit too hard. I don't want to dent it all up and give it a little bit of protection. All right, there it is. Loaded up, maiden voyage. So the dump capability is going to come into play here real soon because that's was a very important feature to me. So let's try it. All right, one of the things I noticed is I thought the tires were kind of kicking out a little bit. So yeah, so we'll check that again once I have it unloaded. Check the front tire. Yeah, so it's, I don't know if that's the way it was designed or if I've got it overloaded. Good question for the manufacturer, maybe. All right, let's check out that thing with the level. Yeah, see, it was under a lot of load earlier. Whoops. Yeah, so it was under a lot of load earlier. It was starting to buckle out. Yeah, definitely was. So just be mindful of that. That, you know, the wheels tend to, you know, buckle out a little bit under heavy load, but wouldn't any trailer? I don't know, you know, I mean, you've all got this kind of axle set up, so I'll just have to be mindful of that and careful. So like with any trailer, guys, be careful when you're backing up, because if you jackknife this thing, it's gonna send that right into my tail light. So you know, I just have to be careful when you're using any trailer. Okay, we got a very full load here, and we're gonna try and give it a dump. One of the big reasons I got this trailer is I don't want to wait for an electric system battery to die on me. I did that with one hand too while I was holding the camera. So yeah, and you know, that was full, and I did it by hand with one hand. So that was really important to me when I was evaluating trailers, because I like the electric dump, but especially when I let this thing down, I'll show you that in a second, really fast to let it back down too. And you know, I'm trying to get stuff done in a hurry, so time is money. Okay, I just want to point out a few reasons why I selected this trailer. First of all, that area right there, 2 rails supporting the weight on the tires. This up here, angle iron, both sides, super strong, really good steel. And then a reinforced tongue was I was really impressed by that. Okay, that's the dump angle you're gonna get. Seems like it ought to be a little bit more. Maybe there's something I need to do. A little more dump angle would be better, but it's okay. It dumps. Now I'm gonna let this thing down. I'll show you why. From watching some of the videos, I was like, I don't want to wait for everything for that to decide to drop. And I want it to happen fast. So I'm really happy with that. Another thing I just realized is I'm glad I didn't get an aluminum trailer. One of the trailers I looked at was the Ultratec, and I knew it was going to be a problem dumping that thing with heavy loads. And you know, I'm throwing these big logs in here. Give you an idea, put my hand on it. They're good size. And sometimes I just flat out like hit the side of it, and you know, if there was aluminum, it would dent, and you know, so I'm just glad it's all steel. It's super rugged. So far I've done like 3 or 4 loads and really happy. Well, there it is. I've got it loaded up with loam, about as much as it'll take. Wow, this is so heavy. I had to put my electric side-by-side into low 4-wheel drive. And no issues at all. It's just pulling it through the woods, very uneven ground. And it's doing great. So very, very happy with it. Wheels haven't fallen off or anything. So super pumped. Interesting. So here's a problem. I'm cranking it up, and this rope is just, it's not pulling. What it's doing is just tightening deeper into the spool there, so it's not lifting it up. Look at the mess it's creating, because I got too much weight on it. You know, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm gonna have to take that apart and roll it up correctly. Like I said, I might be using it incorrectly, so but you know, this is an evaluation of the Multilander. If you're thinking about buying it, you probably want to know about these things. Okay, so I redid it, pulled it out all the way out, and then, you know, kept tension on it as I coiled it back up. So let's see what happens as I try to dump what's left of this. Just give you an idea. There's a divot in the middle there, so it's not even full right to the edges with loam. Let's go. Oop, get it to start clicking. There we go. I need 2 hands for this. Okay, had to use 2 hands. Everything's fine. User error, that's what that was. Just had it coiled on there too loosely. And you know, the pitch, I'm even uphill a little bit. I got as high as it won't slide out. But not a huge problem, because you know, I can just use a shovel there, and as long as it tips up a lot, I'm good. Tipping up more would be nice, but not sure I would have made it a deciding factor, because I think pretty much anything's going to get stuck in these dumps anyway, but the more it tips, the better. My piece of wood on the back isn't fastened down to the bed, so I'm going to have to loosen some of the existing bolts that were holding the bottom to the ribs and fasten that to the floor if I want to keep it. So I'll have to deal with that. Something else I just figured out, that I thought I'd just drive around without fastening these things down at the bottom and hitting bumps, get them off, which I love that setup, by the way. I'm going to add some chains so that I can, you know, if I have stone in there, I can let it out easily, which I'm pretty sure this thing will take a heavy load of stone. Based on all that loam I had in there, I have no doubt it's going to take a load of stone. That'll slide out a lot easier too when it tips, when it dumps. So I just got to keep one of those fastened. Probably won't fasten both all the time. Same thing with my side-by-side. I only fasten one side because I'm, you know, unless I'm putting something that's going to put weight on the tailgate, I don't bother. No big deal. All right, guys. I hope that none of you think that I'm sponsored by Woodland Mills or any of their competitors to evaluate these trailers, because I am definitely not. I'm sponsored by myself. I'm retired and just kind of working on this campground that I'm trying to get approved. If you watch my other videos, you'll find that out. But, you know, I'm really happy. I've pointed out the flaws, you know, tried to find problems that were probably a lot of times my fault. You know, I chose this trailer, like I said, because super rugged. You know, I'm hitting the sides of it with logs. Boom, 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 you know. And just really, I think, put it through quite the test here. And just like the 2 days of having it, this reinforced portion right here was real important to me. And then underneath, you know, these pieces right here being super rugged, and the angle iron coming down on top of them. And I just think, based on what I saw online, I haven't used another ATV trailer, so I don't think it's really fair. I think some of the ATV trailers that I looked at would probably be more ideal for your application, especially if you want an electric winch. I definitely do not now. Now that I'm using this, I'm like, it's so easy to just crank it up, get some exercise, and then when I want to put it back down, it's real fast. I'm not waiting for this hydraulic system to slowly put the bed down. That would have driven me crazy. So I got a few imperfections that are my fault. I've got to bolt this down to the floor because I decided I'm going to keep it. The floor is plenty rugged. I don't know, just try to keep it nicer. And then there was the issue here, but I seem to have overcome it. You got to keep it tightly wound. And it's got like a plastic, not wax, but at any rate, you know, I'm not going to use it to roll logs onto and things. I don't think. I'd certainly deal with large logs all the time. Maybe I will. But all right, so far, thumbs up still. Get her there. Well, that loam is sticky stuff. Okay, guys, I hope you found that evaluation of ATV trailers informative. Remember to give this video a like if you got any valuable information from it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about all of the things that we're running into as we try to build this campground. And if you want to learn more about all the different tools we use to try to build this campground, watch this next video.